Wow, wow, what's up, people? Welcome back to the Prism Works. You know me, PrisimBrad. Now, I look awfully different today. No gotcha looking style, no human, well, sort of human. I'm in Wuzzleberg today, and I think it's about time we finally do a Wow Wow Wubbzy review. I've been needing to branch out on shows, so yeah, I figured I'd make a poll after what has been my month-long hiatus. I missed you guys so much. And yeah, so today we will be reviewing the episode Mr. Cool, episode 5B of season 1, a Walden episode. One of my absolute favorites, and the one that y'all wanted to see the most from the poll that I did at least maybe 4 days ago. So yeah, before we get into this review, hit that like button and bounce on that subscribe button. Our episode starts off in Wuzzleberg Park. Walden is walking through with a book, and he seems to be out and about enjoying himself. Nice to see that Walden is our main focus, because out of, like, our titular man, Wubbzy, and Widget also, I think Walden's probably my favorite character, and he got a lot of good episodes, early season 1. But yeah. So Walden sits down on a nearby bench and starts reading, but he quickly stops as he sees Huggy, Buggy, and Earl, or Muggy if you're from the UK. And they're talking about this dance called the Wuzzleberg Boogie Bash, and how it's going to be so cool. Chef Fritz is going to be making his famous noodle strudel, and there's going to be lots of dancing as they do some weird dance moves. Like, I don't know, what in the Peanuts dances am I seeing? So Walden thinks it sounds like fun, and he honestly seems interested in this Boogie Bash, as then Buggy seems to mention how only the coolest people will be there. Walden misinterprets this and thinks that only cool people can go, and he wonders if he's cool. Dude, real quick, I don't think any of those three are really the definition of cool. So that'd be your eye-opener one, but no, okay. We wouldn't have an episode then. So, later at Wubbzy's house, Walden has Widget and Wubbzy there and asks them if they think he's cool. They both give each other a look and then proceed to tell him he's smart and he knows just about everything. Y'all are the worst. Like, no, what friends do this to you? What do you think? Am I cool? How do we put this to him? I don't know. Do you want to just tell him straight up that he's uncool? He's a nerd? Like, I don't know. If you're gonna just be honest, at least there were so many other ways to go about this. Like, he's cool for who he is. Oh, wait. That's our moral. We aren't there yet. Moving on. So Walden's disappointed that they don't think he's cool from the seams of it, and by their silence on how they haven't even said that word to him. So yeah, clearly they don't think it. But they tell him that he can be cool. I guess he's apparently not cool to them. Okay, moving on. And yeah, Walden seems kind of nervous at the idea of this as they go to the clothing store, which is a gigantic boot. You know what? Honestly, this is where most of the kids in episode 1 needed to go. Because let me tell you, none of those kids in Wuzzleberg wear clothes. So that's a concern. Unless you're Wubbzy, I don't think you should really be out on about. Yeah, whatever. So inside the clothing store, Widget tells him that he needs cool clothes. As Wubbzy finds a big white fedora hat with a red feather on top. And he puts it on, saying that it's cool. I like this hat, honestly. It is nice. It's cute. As then Widget pulls up some blue sunglasses with some purple lenses. I wouldn't say they're cool, they're just clownish. But I mean, with the hat, it works. Wubbzy then finds a big shirt that he calls cool, and Widget proceeds to find some big red platform boots. Dora the Explorer called. Boots wants his boots back! Like, what in the Elvis Presley am I looking at? Nobody in this town actually wears shoes. Like, I think the only person, really, is Miss Bookfinder, the librarian. But, like, she's, like, the only decent person in this town, clearly, if she's wearing shoes. So, one costume change later, and Walden is looking patriotic. He's red, white, and blue all over, with a hint of purple. Interesting. Not to mention he can barely walk. So, this is, like, why you don't put somebody in platforms the first time, and they're, like, trying to be someone they're not. Like, that is dangerous. You don't understand. High heels are not something you want to try and wear as a beginner. Like, you see the way he's stumbling? Like, it's not worth it. They call it funkadelic. Okay, this was 2006. I don't know what words were apparently cool, but I guess that. As Walden almost proceeds to fall on his face. Luckily, Wubbzy and Widget catch him before he hits the ground, as they now start to teach him some cool phrases. For instance...
Yee-ba, Ziggy Wig.
Okay, Yee-ba, Ziggywig, and Squiggly Wawa. Even Walden questions that last one, like, is that cool? Like, no. Who on the playground did you hear saying that, Wubbzy? I wanna know. I wanna know right now. But I mean, okay. Yeah, Walden tries with some of those, but he doesn't even want to try with Squiggly Wawas. That doesn't seem very cool. As they apparently say it's totally cool. He seems more nervous than before. Back at Wubbzy's house, they now decide it's time for him to learn to dance cool. And they decide to teach him some of their amazing dance moves. They turn on the boombox, and Widget shows him the move Flippity Slide, basically going back and forth. Wubbzy then shows him his signature move, the Wubbzy Wiggle, aka shake dancing, as titled in the next episode that we get. But basically, he moves his arms like noodles, and some with his legs and tail. Pretty cool dance that will be much more relevant in Season 2. And then, we have the part that was censored in the UK. Widget decides to show him the best move of all, the Spastic Ostrich. Now, if you don't know, spastic is apparently a slur in the UK, and I'm not going to go into, like, the whole detail on what it actually means and all that. You can look that up in your own time. But point is, it was censored in the UK to the funky ostrich, and yeah. I mean, it doesn't hit close as home as the spastic ostrich does, but maybe that's because I am from the US, of course, and I've grown up with hearing that. So yeah, it's like something. But they do this by, like, stomping their feet and flailing their arms around like birds, I guess, like an ostrich. Walden then starts to do the apple picker.
Yeah, alright.
And he seems to be getting it. He gets in the spirit. He gets to the B, even though he's not really dancing completely well. But I mean, I support it. So then Wubbzy and Widget proceed to spin and pose as Walden tries to do the same. He hits the boombox and, I guess, gets a concussion from most of it, and jaw damage, and lands in a flower pot. Ouch. So he tells Wubbzy and Widget that he really doesn't think it's a good idea and he wants to stop trying to be cool, but they then tell him how he's already cool. Apparently Mr. Cool. Title drop! But now he's apparently cool that he's, like, almost hurt himself? Y'all are really interesting for a group of friends, and I love it so much. Okay. So yeah, Walden gets a boost of confidence and decides to go to the Boogie Bash after all, as he struts out fancily and ends up crashing. Yeah, you see, that's why you don't wear platforms, because you're just gonna trip and fall on your face. And apparently he doesn't have his glasses on underneath. We'll get into that later. So that night, at the Wuzzleberg Boogie Bash, everybody's getting down. Wubbzy and Widget doing the spastic ostrich. I swear if there's anybody watching this in the United Kingdom, I'm sorry for using this word, but this is what I grew up with. This is what I know. I'm not gonna call it the funky ostrich, just because. Please, don't come for me. Chef Fritz is putting layers on a cake. Okay, that's not a noodle strudel. And then we cut to everybody dancing. These are not exactly cool people. We have Huggy, Buggy, Earl, some random girl, Lady Zamboni. Old Lady Zamboni, and the mailman. Very cool. And then Walden proceeds to strut in with a whole new ego intact, and he's improved. His Yee-Bas are very confident. Everybody looks at him like he's a crazy person, yet he thinks he's much more cool than he already is at this point. He goes up to Wubbzy and Widget and greets them with a nice little fun...
Yo! Hi! Ziggy Wig! Let's boogie!
Even using Ziggy Wig as he's ready to boogie. He seems to have gotten the strut down and he's not tripping anymore, as he hits the dance floor and does his slippity slide move that we just saw. But he proceeds to knock everybody over in the process. Wubbzy and Widget are absolutely surprised. I don't know why y'all turned him into. Who taught him the slippity slide? It was that pink rabbit. Y'all better have some paper bags to hide your faces afterwards, cause y'all made a monster. A monster who didn't do anything wrong. Just like a temporary one, I should say. So Walden proceeds to spin around like a twister or like a Tasmanian devil, as Chef Fritz is putting more frosting on a cake, and Walden proceeds to Yee-Ba and scare him onto the cake. Cookie cameo, of course, as this was what they did Season 1 a lot. Walden's dancing again and does another spin, yet he slams straight into a metal pole. Okay, I felt that, cause ouch. Ooh, ow. Okay, no. Moving on. All the balloons fall, and yeah, the party's ruined, and Walden is met with the very annoyed faces of just about everybody at the party, giving a very feeble squiggly wah wah to end it off. Really, man? At least you tried. So then he starts getting chewed out by everybody at the party. Chef Fritz gets mad at him for Walden ruining his cake by scaring him, and then Buggy and the others are mad at him for ruining their dancing, as Huggy calls him uncool, with everybody agreeing. Walden now feels awful, and so do Wubbzy and Widget. As Walden walks over to a nearby trash can, putting away the sunglasses and the hat, throwing them into the trash, as he doesn't like the idea of what he's become, I guess. Also, side note, he had his normal glasses on under the sunglasses? What? Like, that makes no sense, because earlier he didn't have I guess he couldn't see or something. But maybe that's why he tripped so many times. So yeah, I'm actually honestly sad to see him throw away the nice pieces of clothing, mostly the hat. The sunglasses are okay. As Wubbzy and Widget run over and apologize to Walden finally, because they realize they've made a mistake and did something wrong and clearly goofed and embarrassed them. As Walden more blames himself and says he's not Mr. Cool. As he leaves the Boogie Bash ashamed. And those stairs are awfully tall, I have to say that. It would have been like just awful insult to injury if he just went tripping down them in the platform boots. Just... Moving on. So after Walden leaves, Wubbzy and Widget look back to see that everybody's all of a sudden nervous. Chef Fritz can't make his noodle strudel salad because he can't remember the secret ingredient, and apparently it's time to do the Wuzzleberg stomp dance. But nobody knows how it goes, as Huggy and Earl try to do it, but just fall on their butts. Okay. So they need somebody really smart, and yeah, y'all really just chased him out the Boogie Bash. What are you gonna do now? Okay. But yeah, no, they know who to call. So Wubbzy and Widget realize that they have a friend who knows just about everything. Perfect the way he is. Outside on the streets of Wuzzleberg, Walden is walking home, and a coyote howls. Okay, that was... no. Like, man could get jumped out here. He's not ready to fight. He's got some big platform boots. The minute he tries to kick somebody, even though those could be like a weapon, he tries to kick somebody, he could fall and just not be able to get back up. You never know who could be lurking on the streets of Wuzzleberg this late at night. But yeah, Wubbzy and Widget catch up to him since he clearly didn't get that far, and they tell him that they need his help and that everybody else at the party needs him. So back at the Wuzzleberg Boogie Bash, what's it? Chef Fritz is learning the secret ingredient once again, as Walden proceeds to not even whisper that it's crumbled potato chips. Okay, interesting. That doesn't sound appetizing, but you never know. So then, he starts showing everybody how to do the Wuzzleberg stomp. 2 steps left, 2 steps right. Spin around twice, and stomp, 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 as he says. I like it. So, Huggy, Buggy, and Earl then all proceed to tell him how smart he is and how he knows just about everything, and how he's so cool. Y'all were calling him uncool a few minutes ago, but you know what? That's okay. And Walden realizes that he is cool. Everybody's dancing and enjoying noodle strudel salad, which is just really a big pile of noodles. And Walden learns his lesson, that it's easy to be Mr. Cool and he has to just be himself. But he does admit that he liked the hat and the sunglasses and he wants to put them back on. He goes to the trash can, but they're not there, strangely, as he looks up and finds that Wubbzy and Widget have taken them and do one last squiggly wah wah.
Squiggly Wawa!
And then, of course, as any Wubbzy episode is, there's a little song about the lesson of the day being Mr. Cool, titled like the episode, as it's mostly about being yourself and not trying to follow the crowd, and just being yourself is the best thing about you. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, so ends Mr. Cool. I think this is actually one of my favorite episodes of season 1, and I'm glad I really got to review this one as my first Wubbzy episode review. I'm really hoping this doesn't get copyrighted, BT dubs. But where was I? Walden is like my favorite character, not to mention like everything about this episode is like just so funny. The lines, the visuals, the outfits. The cool outfit is awesome, and I wish I could wear that IRL. But yeah, that about covers our review, and I hope you guys like this and want to see more Wubbzy videos. Next up is Gotta Dance. I'll see you then.